Hi, welcome back. I'm going to be in a bit more of a cheery mood than my previous video because today I'm talking about music and albums, which is my favourite thing to do in the whole world. Sorry, I already swore in the first 30 seconds, I swear. I'm not supposed to do that or something. Why am I acting as if I'm going to get monetized on YouTube? Me? No, like 2 people watch my videos. Anyway, I am going to be talking about all the albums that I reviewed this year. If you see me looking down here, it's because I reviewed 126 albums this year, which is a lot of fucking albums, so I can't keep that all in my head. I have my laptop here where I have them all. If you're wondering where I do my album reviews, you can follow me on AOTY. I'll put a screenshot of my profile. I think I have 27 followers. I'm actually really excited about the fact that I have 27 followers because okay, yes, that's not a lot. However, not one of those people, okay, I think one of them is my sister, one of my younger sisters, and the other 26 are all just random motherfuckers on the internet. That's pretty cool. My initial plan was I wanted to review 10 albums for each month, and then there ends up being 120. However, A, I didn't have the time to review any albums in December because I'm filming this in December right now. And then B, nobody actually releases albums in December unless they're Christmas albums. But I did still end up reviewing more than 120 albums. The majority are LPs. A couple of them are EPs. Another thing I should say about the way that I rate albums, I pride myself on my ratings following a normal distribution curve because I'm a fucking nerd. Okay, one thing about me, and because I want my ratings to follow a normal distribution curve, I purposefully listen to a lot of music that I know I probably won't like. And sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. Other times I listen to something that I think I'm gonna like and I end up disappointed. But yeah, just I review lower than average. So if I reviewed one of your favourite albums this year kind of low, just know that I tend to review low. If I give something a score of over 50, that means I liked it. If something is less than I don't give less than, similarly to I don't often give more than 90. That's really rare for me to give more than 90. It's pretty rare for me to give less than 20. Also, sorry if in this video it gets progressively darker. In December it just gets dark immediately, there's just no natural light. And yeah, as I said, I feel I did do a lot of different genres on this, and I did do basically every album that came out this year. If it was a notable album, I probably reviewed it, and I tried to make sure that I had a wide range of genres. On the whole though, I do have a particular taste. I like electronic music a lot, and I like pop music, but I like pop electro, I like the crossover of that. That's normally where my taste lies. This didn't always used to be the case, by the way. I used to hate electronic music and I used to hate upbeat music, but I have chronic fatigue. And this was a recent thing. I didn't always have chronic fatigue, and I used to like chill music. If you listen to my music, which to me all of my music that's released is old to me now, but yeah, if you listen to my music, it's very chill. I used to write mostly chill music. I don't really listen to chill music or really write chill music anymore because I'm always chill. I'm always too chill because I have chronic fatigue. So on the whole, I like music that's gonna get me up and excited about life because I am not excited about life. Let me turn this light on. That does not mean that if something is a pop album or an electronic album, I'm gonna give it a high rating. Within every genre, there's albums that I like and albums that I don't like. Within every broad genre anyway. Maybe there are some sub-genres where it's I can't find a single album that, because there's some weird sub-genres out there. I think we should get into it. I reviewed 11 albums for January and my average rating was 47. So this was not one of my favourite months. Starting off with 1st of January, Edward Skeletric's album Museum Music. This is an experimental hip hop album. I gave this bad boy a 31. I didn't really like it. I thought there was interesting sounds in this album, but the majority of it I was ooh. I didn't find it very listenable. The one song that I did really like from this album is called Skeletric's Island. I don't know, I feel also because January was quite a politically tumultuous time. Just I feel this year generally has been not a great year. Politically, the world is in a crazy state, what the fuck is going on? So I like listening to Skeletrix Island because it makes me feel like existential and like, yeah. Next album that came out 5th of January, Debí tocar. This is gonna test my Spanish. Debí tocar más fotos. Sí. Yeah, I gave this album a 70. I really liked it. The main thing I liked about it was like very genre bending. The reason why I didn't give it a higher is because like I'm from the UK, so like I don't necessarily understand all of the like political stuff that he's talking about. I was trying to like listen and understand because I can speak some Spanish, like a little bit. I'm learning as part of my degree, so I can understand some of it. Maybe in a few years I might amend my rating if I like am better at Spanish at that point. I think I will appreciate it more cuando sea fluida, pero tengo muchas clases antes de eso. Sí. The next album, 6th of January, Asian Glow, like a noise pop album. And I give it a 65. I really liked it. I don't know, something about it was quite nostalgic. I really love the song Camel 8 Strike. That song kind of reminds me of like the Skins theme tune. I think that I would like this album more if the vocals were just like a little bit like more forefrontal in the mix. The Ethel Cain Perverts EP. I feel like a lot of people listened to the like Willoughby Tucker album but didn't listen to this EP. I just happened to like listen to this when I was deathly ill, which I would not recommend. Say what you will about Ethel Cain, like she's not for everyone. Cannot say about her is that she's uninteresting. I really love how she has all the like characters and the narratives and stuff. I've actually been a fan of Ethel Cain like since maybe like 2018, 2019-ish, and I did not realise that like her music is all like telling one big grand story until like this year, which I think is so cool. I didn't even say what I gave it. I gave it a 48. Lambrini Girls Who Let the Dogs Out. I gave this a 51, which now that I'm seeing 51, I feel like is maybe too high. Like the thing with this album, I played it for my partner and they were like, this is the worst music I've ever heard in my life. No, I think that like the reason why I did fuck with it a little bit is because I do like music that's political, but I just felt like with the political takes on this album, like where it worked better I feel like was when they were making a commentary about like structural issues. I just feel like the takes tend to be like less good if you're just being like, oh this guy sucks. It's like, that's not, what are you really saying? Next one we've got Humanhood by The Weather Station. I gave this a 47. It was a decent listen. I enjoyed the first half more than the second half. I feel like something about her vocal delivery was not my fave. But like when I listened to it I was like, this is like obviously well made. I just was like, this is not jumping out at me. I don't know. Rose Grey Louder Please. A dance pop like diva house album. I know some people who really loved this album. I didn't love it. I gave this a 51. I don't know, I just feel like it was too safe. Rose Grey obviously doesn't give a fuck about what I think, but like Rose Grey, if you're watching this, like I know you can be so much cuntier than this album. Let's go harder, you know what I mean? I don't know. Next we had Mac Miller Balloonerism album. This was like a really highly reviewed album. I give it a 56. I can't believe that Mac Miller had so much like music in the vault, because obviously this is like, I think the 3rd or the 4th late album of his. And I do feel like some of the songs on here were really cool. I like the Excelsior one, like the one about like the wizard and the kids and stuff. Again, like it comes back to the thing of like I tend to not listen to chill music too much, which is why I didn't give it higher. But Central C, Can't Rush Greatness. I gave this a 30. I didn't like it. I mean, this is the common like criticism of Central C, is that he's like more of an influencer than a rapper. And I kind of agree. Next album, FKA Twigs, You Sexual. Yeah, loads of people were raving about this one. Again, not my fave. Sorry guys, I gave it a 39. I can appreciate, she obviously had like a really strong vision that I feel like came through with the album, but I just felt like when I was listening to it I was like kind of bored. Next one, Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. I didn't like this. I didn't like this, guys. I'm sorry, I gave this a 29. Like I really did not like it at all. The main issue I had with this album is it's like, why was it 22 songs? Like, especially when the whole album is just him being like, I'm sad, I'm sad. I'm kind of being a hater, but like, I know this is like his last album or something, but I've never really been a big fan of The Weeknd, so I don't really care. But yeah. So for February, I think, yeah, my average rating was 54.6. Okay, so first album in February was the Choking Off album by OK Lou. I gave this a 61. I actually initially gave this album way lower, but then I had to change my rating because I felt like, okay, when I first listened to it, I was like, why does this album just not have any drums? But then when I listened to like some of the songs more, I was like, wait, no, this is cool as fuck, actually. It took me like a little bit of a while to get into it, I think. Thank You for Recording was my favourite song of the album. I listen to that song all the time and I just like what it's about. Like the sentiment is just like, it's like real as fuck, because I get so bored of myself sometimes and I'm so grateful that there are so many people out there who like show me their perspective of the world in some way, like through art usually, but like through other means as well, because it's like I get to, when I get bored of myself, I can have another place to escape to, or like another perspective to try and see the world through, and I'm just like grateful that so many people do that because I need it, you know? Squid album Cowards. I gave this one a 45. I didn't really save any of the songs, I don't think, because I just didn't really like any of the songs individually. But as a whole album, like I was like, yeah, this is obviously well made, like Squid are a good band, but the songs were too long. Like on the whole, I tend to prefer shorter songs, so yeah, that just wasn't to my taste, I guess. Next album, Ghost Holding by Venturing, which is like an alias for Jane Remover. I loved this album. Normally I find this style of indie rock to be too harsh on the ear for me, but I found so much of the vocal melodies and stuff like balanced out like the harshness of the rest of the sonics. So it's just like, it's just so nice to listen to. I initially gave it, I think, in the 70s, but I bumped it up to an 80 because I was like, this is amazing. I listened to it just like so much. It's like the slightly like messy production is like really my taste as well. I felt like the lyrics could have been a little bit more substantial, but that was like my only qualm really. Moving on to really not my favourite. Some Sexy Songs for You, Party Next Door, Drake album. Again, same criticism that I had to the Weeknd album from the previous month. Why was it 21 songs? This is just boring and I don't want to listen to this. Was my thoughts when I was listening to this album, so I gave it a 21. I really didn't like it. 21 for 21 songs, I guess. Because it's like, why the fuck are you putting 21 songs in an album? Anyway, So Close to What, Tate McRae. I have a soft spot for Tate McRae, okay? Also, another thing about me is like, if like an artist is good at dancing, it just makes their music hit more for me. So yeah, I gave this one at 57. I did feel like a lot of the album is just like her being like, I love my boyfriend, which I'm just like, okay. Like I felt like in her previous albums, she had like more songs about things other than romantic love, because famously I am a hater of romantic love themed songs. Like I prefer literally any, like write about anything else. I just feel like 95% of songs in the world are written about romantic love, so I'm just like, there's already a song written about this exact topic that's probably better than the one that you're writing, you know? Not to be a massive hater, but that's kind of how I feel. I didn't like that as much, but I did feel like this album was pretty cunty, so yeah, that's why I gave it 57. Next we had Sam Fender, People Watching. I was surprised with how much I like this. I tend to be like a hater when it comes to like British men who like have guitars. I tend to be like, boo. Why I ended up listening to this is because my best friend Elkie, she said like, oh, I really loved the new Sam Fender album. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll listen to it. And then I listened to it and I was like, wait, I actually do like this. Like, I actually really did like it. So to all my friends who are Sam Fender haters watching this right now, sorry, I gave it a 68. He's obviously trying to do the whole like Britpop thing. And like, I think he does it kind of well. Sorry, I kind of liked it. Next one I have Rebecca Black, Salvation. I didn't realise Rebecca Black was gay. Fucking love that. I'm also gay, by the way. Yeah, pleasantly surprised. Because obviously Rebecca Black is like the Friday girl. I was like, oh, this is gonna be not good. I gave it a 68 because I couldn't give it in the 70s just because like there were only 2 songs on it. But like the 2 songs on it that I really liked, I loved them. Like I loved them. And then the others I was like, eh. Club Shy, Room 2. I gave this a 61. Not much to say about it, honestly. It was good. I liked it. Whatever. Next we have That's Life Baby by Foley. I gave this a 45. It was fine. Next we have Luminescent Creatures. I'm not going to say it right, so I'm just not going to even attempt to, but you know who I'm talking about. I found it a pleasant listen. I feel like that's the best way to put it. I gave it a 49. I think I listened to it like once or twice when I was studying, but like I wouldn't listen to it if I wasn't like doing work or something, because it's like, again, I can't really listen to chill music, so I'm naturally in a melancholy mood majority of the time, so I don't need any more of that, you know what I mean. Next we had Alter Ego Lisa. We know who Lisa is, Blackpink girl. I gave this a 46. There were some moments where I was like, okay, this is alright, but then yeah, overall I was like, this is bland. Like, it just felt like very like, I wasn't really expecting it to be good though, because it's like a little bit like Pop Music Machine, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. So that's all of February. On March, I gave on average a 45.2, which is low. March was my least favourite month for music. So just keep that in mind before we go into the stuff. Was I going through it during this time? I think I was having a good time in March. I don't know. I really was not fucking with the music though. So to start off with, we have Jennie's album, Ruby. I gave this one higher than the Lisa album, I think. Yes, I did. I gave it a 57. I was kind of surprised, actually, that I liked it as much as I did. Because I did like it. I wouldn't say I would have given... I definitely wouldn't have given it anything above 60. Next we have the Lady Gaga album, Mayhem. I'm not gonna be popular with this one. I gave this a 34. I don't know. I appreciate Lady Gaga because of what she means to the queer community. However, I feel like my personal taste, I can't really be doing all the like camp stuff. It's just not me. Sorry guys, it's just not me. But I love it and I respect it. Now we're moving on to Playboi Carti Music. Oh my god, this album. This was a bit of a moment, wasn't it? I gave this a 16. I thought it was shit. Moving on. Hornet Disaster by Weatherday. I gave this a 54. I liked it. Again, it needed like a short track list. Like, what's going on? I thought that the opening tracks were really strong and the ending tracks were really strong, but there were just like quite a few where I was like, this could have stayed in the drafts. Even though there was some really strong moments on this, like they kind of got lost in the swamp because it was like there was a lot going on. Next we have Japanese Breakfast for Melancholy Brunettes and Sad Women. I gave this a 59. I think this was just like objectively pretty good, but I probably won't listen to it a lot, and I didn't. Like, I didn't really listen to it that much this year. It was similar to like the Weather Station album, even though it was like good and well made, not a lot of the songs like super jumped out at me. We had the Selena Gomez Benny Blanco album, I Said I Love You First. It was so boring. It was just boring, and I just felt like it was quite performative. Like, it felt like relationship marketing. Like, do you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I gave it 22. Next we have E by FER. This was fucking good. I really liked it. I gave it a 71. It is like a classic hyperpop sound, but like the way that she does it, I feel like it's still like unique to her. Next we have Oyster by Chloe Moriondo. I was a bit disappointed by this one. I gave it a 30. One of the tracks on this is one of my favourite songs that came out this year. But like the rest of it, I was just like, what? Like, just disappointing. She's an artist where I'm like, you, I think, are quite interesting. Like, you seem to me like an interesting person, so I just feel like you have more to say than just this like bland record, you know? Days Before Dream Boy by Lil Nas X. I think this was supposed to be like an album, and then he just never released it. I think the label shelved him, maybe? I guess he wasn't getting the same streams anymore that he was at one point. It's so weird how, like, if they're not fucking with you anymore, they'll just, like, kind of be like, okay, bye. Like, it's kind of crazy how that works. I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know the full story of that, but, like, yeah, I gave it a 37, because I didn't really like it. Next we have Jessie Reyes, Paid in Memories. I gave this a 58 because I actually did like quite a few of the songs on there. But again, like, I felt like it was a little over length, and I don't feel like she's evolving that much as an artist. Like, it sounds kind of the same as like all of her previous records have. Then we have Deaf Heaven, Lonely People with Power. I give it a 38. It's not really my genre. I I think it was good. Like, for the genre that it is, I thought it was good. Because I have listened to, like, other music in, like, the black gaze genre and whatever. And I thought, and, like, compared to the others, it's good. I can't really fault Deafheaven for, like, just not making something to my taste, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Next we have Lucy Dacus, Forever Is a Feeling. I gave it a 66. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I like Lucy Dacus. I didn't actually know about her before Boy Genius. I got really into Boy Genius and like I kind of got into all three of them as a result of that. Like I wasn't even really a big fan of Phoebe before Boy Genius. I like Lucy Dacus's lyricism. I always really liked the song that she wrote on the Boy Genius EP called Afraid of Heights. Afraid of Heights, yes. I always really like that song because I just like how it's written and I like what it's about, and I just think it's a well written song. I just think she's a good songwriter. Yeah, that's March. My average rating for April was 53.7. Starting off with Fuck You Skrillex, you think you're Andy Warhol but you're not. I don't like Skrillex's music. Like, I don't really like Bro Step. I was not gonna listen to it, but then I was like, fuck it, I might as well. And then I actually was like pleasantly surprised. Like, I thought I was gonna like hate it, but I did not dislike it. I think the main thing was just like how well he did the like, I'm really intrigued by the creative process behind this album because every song flows into every other song like so seamlessly that you can't even hear. Like, if you just play the album, you cannot tell when one song starts and another one ends. That's like really difficult to do as someone who makes music. So I gave it a 48. Like, if I liked the music, I would have given it higher, but like I can't like give something like a high rating just because it has good transition. Next we have Jane Remover, Revenge Seekers. Yeah, I actually initially gave this a 20. I had to move it up. I gave it a 71. This is a good album. I don't know where I got 20 from in the initial. I think I probably just put it on when I was in like a terrible mood. But I put it on and I was like, oh, this is shit. And then and then I listened to it a few more times and I was like, wait, no, this is really good actually. I think I actually bumped it up twice. I like, initially I gave it a 20 and then I moved it up to like a 55 and then I moved it up to a 71, which is the biggest, like the most I've ever changed because normally when I do change my ratings, like I change them by like a couple of points here and there. Next we have To Hollis Star. I gave this a 50 because here's the thing, right? Like there were a couple of songs on this album that were like in my top songs of the year. I really like Destroy Me, I really like Nice, and I really like Nerve. I played those songs like back to back all the time. But then there were also like quite a few songs on there where I was like, oh, this is really not good. But I do think To Hollis is a cool artist. I hadn't actually heard of him before this year. Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, I want to see what he does next. Next we have Joe, The Crux. It was my 5th favourite album this year. I feel like a lot of people still don't know who Joe actually is. He's in Stranger Things. And he also has the big song, oh, when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. I've been a fan of his music. Like, I remember like hearing the song Keep Your Head Up, I think it's called. And I was like, oh, I really like this. I liked how the sound of it was like a little bit like interesting. And I didn't even know he was in Stranger Things. I just was like, oh, this is a cool guy. And then I listened to his albums and I was like, oh, these are good. And then he put this album out and I was like, wait, this is amazing. Like, I love this. Like, there are so many songs on here that I like just was like, ah, yes. Like, I just really like, it just really resonated with me. Like the song Link, love that song. Delete Ya, that song, I love that song, so good. I played it so much this year. Next we have the Panchico album. I gave this a 46. Like, there were some songs on it that I liked, but I was like not particularly like stunned or anything, like, you know, everyone was talking about this album, so I listened. And like, I did like the variation in the vocal style and like the dreamy elements. There were like certain things that I did like about it, but like I didn't feel the like emotional, I like this feeling. Next we have Black Country New Road, Forever How Long album. Yeah, I gave this a 35. I didn't like it, sorry. Firstly, there's quite a lot of harpsichord in this album, which I didn't really fuck with. And then also the chord progressions are like very fancy, but I'm like, why? It just feels like it, like they're just doing that for the sake of being like, oh, look at what we did. Like, look how musically like sophisticated this is. Like, I didn't feel like it had purpose to me. I don't know, that's just how I felt about it personally. Moving on, we have Bon Iver, Sable Fable. Bon Iver's album 22 A Million is actually one of my favourite albums. This album though was not nearly as good. I gave this a 66. I felt like maybe the vocals were a little bit like overemphasized in the mix, and I would have preferred instrumentation to be more at the forefront of the project. What I really liked about 22 A Million was the instrumentation and the arrangements and the creative production style, and like this project didn't really have that as much. Next we have Quickly, I Heard That Noise. Oh my god, I love this album so much! I gave this a 89. This was my album of the year for a long time until a couple of albums came out towards the end of the year that I really loved. Here's the thing, right, I did know about Quickly before this, but I thought that it was just like a lo-fi artist. I didn't know that they made like this kind of music. I think maybe this is their first time making this kind of music, I don't know. It's just like the production of this is so gorgeous and the songwriting, oh, so good. The only thing that I didn't love as much about it was the last track did not feel like as cohesive to me with the rest of the project. I did really like the songwriter on this project though. If you like singer-songwriter, like folk type music, definitely listen to this album, it's really good. Moving on to something that's really not good at all. We had JP Saxe Articulate Excuses EP. I gave this a 2 out of 100, which is the lowest I've ever given anything. Hate is too light of a, like, it actually just, I just really, no. Anyway, I'm gonna have to move on because I just really can't talk about it. Cancionera
Natalia Lafourcade.
Lafourcade. That's a Spanish accent, not a Mexican accent, but I give this a 47. I'm gonna have to like speed up these reviews, otherwise I'm not gonna get through them all. Next we have Viagra Boys. I gave this a 50. Sometimes it's funny and I get it, and other times I was like, I don't get it. That's all of April. I reviewed 13 albums for May. Average rating was 57.8, which is a little bit higher than most months. John Mikel and Anthony James, Ego Trip. I gave this a 57. Good jazz rap album. This was objectively pretty good in my opinion. A lot of people seem to agree. Men I Trust, Equus Caballas. I think they also made another album this year, but I didn't have time to review both of them. I gave this a 68. I did like it a lot. I really liked Worn Down specifically. I wasn't going to give it much higher than a 68 because I tend to not like music that's super chill, but like Men I Trust are really good in my opinion. Next we have Pink Pantheress, Fancy That. I really liked it. I gave it 76. This was kind of really her year and like a lot of people really fucked with this album, and as they should. The aesthetic of this album was really cool too. It was really cohesive with her established style, but it was like really bringing something new. This was the first project where I felt like she was really like being like confident, and it was still like very her and like true to like what her style is. Next we have Kali Uchis Sincerely. I gave this a 51. I thought it was pretty. I liked Sunshine and Rain. I like that song. Some of the songs were a little bit like sounding the same, like a little bit repetitive. Next we have I'm With Her, Wild and Clear and Blue. I gave this a 58. I saw it live at Rough Trade East because I was on a date with my partner. It just reminded me how much I like folk music and seeing folk music live. I think that my favourite song on this project is the title track, Wild and Clear and Blue. I've like listened to it a bunch of times. Yeah. Next we have CPU Buddha. It's like a remix EP from their previous EP. I gave this a 63. They're not like super well known. To be honest, in the UK, like we don't have clubs that pay like breakcore or like digital hardcore, and I'm mad about it. Like, can we play that at the club, please? Like, I want to hear some Jane Remover at the club. I want to hear some Machine Girl at the club. And surely I'm not the only one. I live in fucking London, okay? Hello. Let me know in the comments if you know what clubs play that, because I've been looking and I can't find any. Next we have Morgan Wallen, I'm the Problem. Blah, 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 yeah. I mean, like, you know that I'm not going to give this a fucking high score. I give this a 10. I thought it was terrible. Again, why is it a billion years long? Like, I had to skip so many because I was like, I can't listen to this man whinge for like 2 hours of my life. Like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, other than the JP Saxe album, this was my least favourite album this year. I didn't really want to go into it too much because I just thought it was dog shit, I'm sorry. Next we have Lucy Bedrock Music album. I gave this a 57. Dead Air has been like killing it this year. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a mixed bag though. Like, there were some songs on here I was like, yeah, and then others where I was like, it kind of fell flat a little bit. I preferred the previous EP from Lucy Bedrock to this one. Moving on, Emma. This is like a Italian artist. I gave this a 70. What I liked about it was the style was like similar to what I said about the E, like the FE project. Like it was firmly within the genres that it's within, but it's still like not quite derivative of anyone. A couple of the tracks could have been edited down maybe. Next we have Ruzowski Daisy. Ruzowski is Spanish, I believe. I gave this a 68. Initially I gave it a little bit higher, but I moved it down a little bit. I thought it was really cool. The features were really good, especially like the Raven Lene feature, and I also like the Kevin Abstract feature. Some of the tracks at the end felt a little bit like, ooh, this is just added on. I think his production style is kind of cool, and he's got like definitely like his own thing going on, like he's got like his own sound. So I see him being like an artist that kind of like his follow-up projects end up being better than his debut. Next we have Smur's Big City Life. Like this was like a random thing where I was like, I just am gonna review something that I've never heard of the artist, I've never heard. Yeah, I didn't like it though. Well, no, I thought it was fine. I gave it a 44. It just felt a little bit unfinished to me, and I understand that it was like kind of supposed to sound like that, but like it didn't feel deliberate. Next we have Caroline 2 EP. I gave this a 70. I think I liked the singles more than the other tracks on the project. I felt like it maybe could have been a little bit more cohesive. Obviously, like the production style is very different in every song. Tell Me I Never Knew That and Did We Ever Talk About that song? I don't know what it's called, but like those two songs felt like it was going to sound like one thing, and then the rest of the songs sounded actually very different, which was cool in a way. Miley Cyrus did an album this year, Something Beautiful. It didn't really do numbers from my memory. I said in my review is it feels like the variety and soundscape is outrunning the repetitive and boring themes. Which is very me core. I feel like my main gripe with a lot of music is I just feel like people end up writing about the same things all the time, and that annoys me. I gave it 59 though, so I did like it, but I just was like, what are you trying to say here? Like, I feel like you don't have anything to say, really. Okay, moving on to June. I gave this, my average rating for June was 52.8. We have I Thought We'd Live Here Forever by Beau. Like, the TikTok algorithm is how I found Beau. He's ex-Dirty Hit, I think. He used to be like with Dirty Hit label, and now he's independent. I like this. I gave it a 68. I didn't feel like he was doing anything like crazy unique with this project. But yeah, what it does do, I felt like it did well. Like it's like a cozy album. Next we have Edison by Addison Rae. This was like another album which was like, everyone was talking about it. I gave it a 61, so I did really like it, but I was just like, this is cunty, but like, it could be cuntier. It's like, I was expecting it to be a little bit more like, you know? Love Made Trees by Loaded Honey. One of my followers on my album review blog sent me this album as a recommendation. I gave it a 54. The main reason why I liked it, if I'm being honest, is because like, I was just so like excited that like a random stranger off the internet recommended me an album because they follow my album review blog. Next we have Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon. This album is like Grammy nom. It's like a jazz rap album. I thought it was okay. I gave it a 59. Lyrically cohesive. It felt like a very standard jazz rap album to me. I like just rated it as such, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a standout jazz rap album, in which case I would have rated it higher. For me personally, it just sounded like very jazz rap, you know? And I feel like this year there was like a lot of jazz rap music going on, especially. So it didn't really like stand out to me compared to maybe some other jazz rap albums, which I'm gonna talk about later. Next we have Never Enough by Turnstile. I gave this a 42. Yeah, I thought it was like definitely very unique sounding. I liked the genre bending, like the dream pop mixed with like hardcore was kind of cool. Like I have heard it a little bit before, but I hadn't really heard it before, and I was like, oh, this is cool, but it didn't really like resonate with me personally, so I couldn't rate it above 50 because I didn't like it. But I was just like, the reason why I didn't dislike it was because I was like, it's cool, but it's not for me, I guess, is how I felt about it. Next we have Slugger by Darby. I reviewed this because I'd never heard of Darby before, but I listened to I'm going to talk about the Blush album in a sec. But this artist, Darby, was featured on one of the songs which I really liked. So I was like, oh, who's this artist? And then I look, and then he's just released an album as well. So I was like, okay, I'm going to review this. And I'm so glad that it did because I really loved it. Like, I adored this album. When I read the like reviews of this album, like a lot of people were like, oh, like this is fine, I guess, but like it's not really my cup of tea. I think his vocal delivery and like the style of it is very bedroom pop. So it's like very unfinished, but like that's the shit I love. Like I eat that shit up. I don't know, I've spoken about this in my previous video where I talked about like my philosophy towards music and stuff. Like I just love stuff that feels like low budget. You know, I'm like, it's like, this is authentic, like this is really you speaking to me right now. But yeah, I gave it an 80. It ended up being in my top 10. Next we have King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Phantom Island. They ended up taking all their music off streaming services, if I remember correctly. This was not my fave. I gave this a 39. I actually do like King Gizzard. Well, I don't know, obviously King Gizzard have like 1 billion albums and I have listened to some of the previous ones and there was one that I liked. So I do like them, I guess, but like this was just not my fave. I didn't feel like concept for this album was quite as fleshed out as some of their other concepts for their albums. And we had the Benson Boone album, American Heart. Yeah, I gave this 11. The reason why I gave this such a low rating is just because to me it was giving AI generated music. I think it's also just like, I don't like the tone of his voice, like it really annoys me. Like the songwriting is just like, a lot of it just felt very regurgitated. Like this is what I mean by AI generated. Like the Kevin Abstract album, Blush. I loved this album, I loved it! I gave it an 88. I was really excited for this album all year and it did not disappoint me at all. I loved the Derby feature, as I mentioned. The thing about this album is it was very like patchworky. Obviously like doing a lot with this, it felt very intentional to me personally. There were some other albums this year where there was like a lot of variation going on in style, but it didn't feel intentional, it just felt like random. Whereas this to me felt like intentional. I actually didn't think the Dominic Fike features were the best songs. I felt like the Quadeca features were the best. Next we have Lord Virgin. I gave this a 33. I didn't like it, sorry. My sister's gonna hate me for this. I know she really liked it. I don't know, I just didn't really like the synths and I didn't really like the vocal delivery. I felt like it was a little bit too like worthy for me, I guess. Beautiful Chaos by Cat's Eye EP. Yeah, I gave this a 46, which is actually kind of high. But again, as I said, it's like when there's good choreo, like it makes me love the music so much more. So like, I definitely gave this a higher rating because I love the dancing. Moving on to July. July, my average rating was 44.6, which is pretty low. Full Stop by Kesha. I gave this a 26. The song Joyride, it's down. So good. First time I heard Joyride, I think it was in the, like, I was at Porn Idol in Heaven. I'm not going to speak too much on that. The rest I was like, no, this is not good. Although I did listen to Red Flag, even though I don't think it's like really a good song, I listened to it so many times this year. So maybe I might inflate this rating a little bit. Wet Leg Moisturizer. I gave this one a 52. It was fine. That's all I have to say about that, to be honest. Next we have Swag by Justin Bieber. This was not for me. I gave this a 29. I just felt like, I don't know, there were like a couple of songs that I was like, this is cool. But then it was like, why have we got these like weird interludes? Was there like a sponsorship going on? Like there was like an ad in it and like I didn't understand. Is it an ad? I don't even know if it was an ad or not. I just was like, what the hell is going on with these weird like interlude things? That just enraged me, to be honest. I think I would have given this higher if it wasn't for that. Next we have Love and Pony Step by Violet Pony. This was like a random pick for me. I give this a 31. I don't know, it started out really strong because I really liked the song Worst Rave Ever. Yeah, as it went on, I was like, this is, again, it's just like 21 tracks is way too many and a lot of the songs were actually really long as well. I think she's obviously very creative and like a cool artist. I'm gonna probably listen to her other album from last year because that has like pretty high reviews. So I probably will listen to that as well, but like, I just felt like she needs to edit down because this is too many songs. Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips, Pusha T and Malice. I think this was like the album of the year. I give it a 55. I understand the hype, like I get it, but it's like not really the type of rap that I tend to like gravitate towards if I am gonna listen to rap. I don't listen to like a lot of rap music. I do listen to rap music, but like not like, it's not my like go-to genre. And like when I am listening to rap, this is not really the kind of rap that I tend to like. POV, that track I thought was really good. I think it deserves the Grammy nom. And I think I'll probably get it, maybe. Next we have Don't Tap the Glass. Tyler the Creator. I gave this a 41. The LSE Rose Voyeur EP. I gave this a 41. LSE's another girl that I found on TikTok. Yeah, I actually gave a really long review for this, so you can read that. Yeah, I just felt like maybe she can branch out a little bit more. I think, again, it's like one of them things where I'm like, I think she has something interesting to say, but currently she's not saying the most interesting thing that she could. Quadeca, Vanisher Horizon Scraper. I give this a 79. I very much got the hype with this. The only thing was I felt like track 11 and 12 were like a completely 180 switch. When I was listening, I was like, this makes sense to some extent, but I just was like, this like, feels like a different project. Like how his songs are long, but they really like build up to the end. Like it's always like the last minute of the song is really amazing. I feel like his features on the Blush album were very different to this album though. Yeah, Never Always, the band Camino. I had to review this because they were one of my favourite bands when I was 14. I gave it a 29. I fear my taste in music has changed since I was 14, so yeah. Next we have Indigo D'Souza, Precipice. I gave it a 67, I thought it was pretty solid. I thought it was pretty cohesive. Similar criticism to a lot of music that I review. I feel like it could have taken some more risks with the production especially. Next we have Renee Rapp, Bite Me. I think I have this written down as 31st of July, but I think it was actually released on the 1st of August. Whoops. Yeah, I gave this a 41. The thing about Renee Rapp is like she's such a funny, interesting person. When it comes to her music, I just get bored. I'm like, where does the personality translate? I feel sometimes I hear it and then most of the time I'm like, this is just a little bit boring. But for some reason I was going through it at a particular period of this year and I listened to the song Good Girl, it came on shuffle, and then like I emotionally imprinted on that song, and so it ended up being one of my like top songs for the year. Not sure why though. Read into that how you will. Now we're moving on to August. August I gave an average rating of 62.4, so I really liked the music in August on the whole. So starting off strong with Surface Tension by Dev Lemons. I've first heard about Dev Lemons from the like Nick Is Not Green drama. But yeah, this was like a really cool debut album. Like I really liked it, especially Don't Pinch Me, Media Train. I think those were my fave songs. Yeah, as a fan I gave it a 70. If Not Winter by Wisp. This is like a shoegaze album. I also gave this a 70. Yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I've never heard of Wisp before. I just was like, let me just give this a try. It felt like really like she poured a lot of love into it. Yeah, I do like the noise pop sound, so like obviously I was gonna like it, but I think I was just surprised because I saw shoegaze and I was like, okay, it's gonna be like this. But then it ended up being a bit more like noise poppy than it was shoegazy. Racing Mount Pleasant, I gave this a 56. I listened to it when I was like making dinner one night and like it was kind of nice. Similar to what I said about the Black Country New Road album, like the progressive folk elements I liked less because I tend to just not really like that. At times it was a little bit hard to follow like what they were, like where it was going, and just like a little bit inaccessible. I Love My Computer by Nina Girachi. I'd never heard of her before, but oh my god, I love this album so much. I gave it an 81. The reason why I loved it so much, first of all, the production is amazing. Like it's amazing, it's so cunty. But also, like when I was listening to it, I'd never heard of her before, but by the end of the album, I felt like I really understood who she is as an artist really well. And that requires a lot of talent to be able to do that. She's just really good at articulating it, I think. Next we have Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You, Ethel Cain album. I gave this a 73. I like Ethel Cain, I was expecting to like it. But yeah, I really loved the story of it. I listened to Preacher's Daughter like a few years ago and I didn't know that there was the story. But then now I know about the story, like it made me love Preacher's Daughter even more, and I also just love this. To say about it other than that, I just really like it. Actually, there's so much I can say about it, but I don't have time. Dijon, Baby, I gave this a 58. It's kind of just incoherent singing, but like it does sound cool, so like I did like it, but it's just like, because I'm such a lyrics person, sometimes I want more out of the lyrics, because normally the lyrics are just like random incoherent stuff that sounds nice. Next we have Who's the Clown, Audrey Hobart. I gave this a 50. I really liked certain songs, and then other songs I didn't like as much. Here's the thing, like I feel like with her production style, it's definitely unique, but I find it to be, it just sounds a little bit like unfinished to me, but not in a good way. I listened to Thirst Trap like a billion times this year. I also listened to Bowling Alley a billion times this year. So, and like quite a few songs, like she's a little bit weird, but like cool, and like I like her. Like she seems really cool. Rocket, Dominic Fike. I gave this a 60. Definitely not my favourite Dominic Fike album. I like his sound, but this was not my favourite one. Like, I like the authenticity of his music. I always like the authenticity of his music, but I could feel that he was tired, and I felt like that bled into the quality of the record. Private Music, Deftones. I gave it a 56. I liked it. Normally, I don't like metal that much. This album is like how, like I just feel like the execution of this album is like what I want to hear, if that makes sense. I don't know. Next we have Somber, I Barely Know Her. I gave this a 40, which is kind of like, okay, I was expecting this to be worse, but like, yeah, I didn't hate it. It was fine. It's just the kind of stuff I hear on the radio and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. You know, like, fine. Next we have Adela, the British Provocateur. Adela's like one of the girls from Dream Academy for Cat's Eye. I loved this. I gave it an 85. I loved it. I was not sold initially, but then with every single she released, I was like, oh, like I just got into it. And then she released Machine Girl and I was like, yes. I love that song. I think that is my song of the year, Machine Girl by Adela. I understand why it might not be everyone's cup of tea, because it is a little bit like pop. It's very pop. I love, okay, the song is a political song, but it's kind of everything I love about like a political song. Another song that I think is like political, but also really good, is 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. And this song is good in the same way that that song is good, because it's about something that we all understand. It's commenting on it from like a personal and like a emotional perspective, but it's also commenting on the larger structures and system. It's both like personal and individual and also structural, and it's talking about the emotions that structural systems make you feel. Ah, so good! I actually would have given this EP higher if I just didn't really like her first single. And also with Super Scar, like I didn't really like that one as much. All the other songs though, loved. To Have Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah. I gave this a 50. I actually don't want to talk about this album that much because I feel like this album has been done to death in terms of like music reviews and stuff. Everyone fucking has spoken about this album. I don't think it needs any more speaking about. It's fine. September, my average rating I gave was a 46.9, so not that high. Double Infinity by Big Thief. It's like a folk rock album, again, fine. I gave it a 43. I started off liking it, but then I just got bored. Jade, I gave her a 50. I thought it was like a cohesive idea and aesthetic. It's similar to the Lady Gaga album. I just feel like that kind of campy pop is just not really my taste usually. Ed Sheeran, Play. I gave this a 14, which makes it one of my worst of the year. I just find it like kind of strange how Ed Sheeran's like whole thing is like he makes songs that sound like pop versions of like other types of cultural music, and he's like a white man. I just think it's a little bit weird how his whole thing is that like, I don't know, whatever. Maruja, Pain to Power. This is like a post-rock album. I gave this a 46. I just felt like it was doing a lot. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it was maybe doing a little bit too much for me. Next we have Breach by 21 Pilots. This is their last album or something. Yeah, I gave it 61. I think it was a good closing record for them. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I'm not a 21 Pilots fan particularly. It didn't really like hit different for me, but I was just like, oh, this is like a fun listen. And like I will listen to it again. Next we have Sister by Frost Children. I gave this a 70. I really liked it. Again, I was surprised because I'd never heard Frost Children before. I think what I liked about it was how it goes from like minimal production to really maximalist production like really quickly. Like I find that contrast kind of fun. I'm Only Fucking Myself by Lola Young. I gave this a 69 because I really liked how she did like a visual for every song, and that made me like kind of understand the songs better and get to know the songs more. I really like it when people do visual albums because it really like helps to like execute for me what you're trying to say with the song. I just felt like it was a little bit samey at certain points, which is why I didn't give it higher. Next we have The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. I gave this a 43, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people really love this album. I felt quite indifferently about it. I liked Lady Lady the most. And I do like Olivia Dean, like I've known Olivia Dean for a really long time. Her first EP, I like listened to it a lot when I was little because I was like young at the time. Reason to Stay and Okay Love You Bye all the time, like I've been a fan of her. Yeah, I don't know, it's nice on the ear but it's just like a little bit boring to me at times because I'm the kind of person who likes really like intense music and her music is just like nice on the ear. Maybe I'll give it, like maybe I'll bump it up a little bit at some point, I don't know. Next we have Glaive album Y'all. I gave this a 43 as well. I don't know, I was just a little bit underwhelmed because the reason why I listened to it is because I wanted to listen to some more digicore music because I'm also trying to make some music that's kind of in that vein. Ooh, spoiler alert for my music. I just didn't feel like the production was like as maximalist as I was wanting it to sound. Next we have Getting Killed by Geese. This was like a big album, like a lot of people love this album. I gave it a 40. There were some like good songs on here, but then with this album I just felt like it could have been an EP. There was quite a few songs on here that felt to me a little bit like filler tracks. Because it was an album, that was what kind of let it down for me a little bit. Next we have Doja Cat V. I can't speak French, I'm sorry. This video, so you're gonna have to just bear with me with that. I gave this a 33. I just thought it was kind of boring, like especially in comparison to her previous album, which was like, she did some crazy shit with that one. Like she had the whole Paint the Town Red thing. Like I'm always gonna prefer something that's interesting and weird over something that's good and boring. To me this was giving like, she had like a 5 album deal like with her label and she was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever to finish my deal. Like I'm just gonna give the label like what they want. Next we have Zara Larsson, Midnight Sun. I give this a 51. This album like grew on me. Initially I was like not a fan and then it kind of grew on me. And like I liked how she like lent into the whole symphony meme, like with the dolphin and everything. Like I thought that was cool. At the moment though I do feel like her album is maybe a little bit boring still, but like I see her doing some cool shit. So yeah, for October, the average rating I got 46.5, so similar to September. Not really a massive fan of the music this month. Starting off with The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift. I give this album a 22. My least favourite track on this album was the Charlie XCX diss track. However you feel about the beef, okay? If we're comparing Sympathy as a Knife to Actually Romantic as a song, it's extremely obvious to me which is the better song. I thought that the song about her friend who died of an overdose was like, I still didn't like the song, but just like an interesting thing to write a song about, I guess. Like more interesting than the rest of the album in terms of like themes. The father figure song, I didn't like it. I just thought it was weird. It's like, why? My opinion on this is very similar to most people's opinion on this. It's just like, you're a billionaire. What do you want about, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like she has anything interesting to say anymore because her life is just not relatable to anyone. Not for Lack of Trying by Dodie. I give this pretty high. I give this 74. I was really excited to listen to it because I'm a fan of her. This album was about her depression, so like obviously it's not the most cheery listen. It's not like something that I would listen to in the mornings when I'm trying to like rise myself to like, do what I gotta do, you know. I think that she's a really good writer and I really like how she executes stuff. The lyrics always leave me a lot to like sit with and like think about, and also I liked how it sounded and I thought it sounded pretty and I thought it sounded original. So yeah. Next we're moving on to Ashaniko Smoochies. I really like the song Itty Bitty that came out earlier this year. That's on my like getting ready playlist when I'm going out. So I wanted to listen to the rest of the album. And yeah, I gave it 53. I thought, see the thing about Ashaniko is like, she takes risks with like the visuals and the sex and like da-da-da. I want her to have something more substantial that she's saying because I feel like, this is the thing, right? I feel like Ashaniko could be like Adele. Adele is weird, but Adele is saying something. Like she is communicating to you something. Whereas with Ashaniko is weird, but I'm not sure what it is that she's trying to say. Next we have Tame Impala, Deadbeat. A lot of people rated this album pretty low. I also did. I gave it 27. This album kind of took everything that I did like about Tame Impala's music and got rid of it. Next we have Last Dinner Party from Pyre. This is 32. Again, it's just like Baroque pop is never for me, usually. I appreciate the witchy vibes, okay? I am just a bleep bloop kind of girl. When we get too witchy, it doesn't resonate with me. Next we have After EP2. The reason why I gave this 35 is maybe because I was in a really bad mood when I was listening to it. I was having like hella chronic fatigue. It sounded like something that was almost good, but like very clearly wasn't. I don't know if that really actually makes any sense, but whatever. Next we have The Boy Who Played the Harp by Dave. I liked this. I gave it a 62. In terms of the music and the beats, I didn't really like them that much. However, with the rap, I thought it was really good, especially the last few songs on the record. I think the main thing that I really like about his writing, sometimes when people want to do like social commentary in their rap, it can come across like preaching, like I'm talking down to you. But he's like, I noticed that this is a problem, but I'm also struggling with it. Again, like when it comes to like political music, I would have liked it more if he put more effort into talking about the structures and the systems. Seeing as he was talking more about it on the individual's level, I appreciated that his like social commentary wasn't condescending. West End Girl by Lily Allen. This was like, again, this is like a big album. I gave it a 69. I did like it. I almost gave it a 70, but I didn't. The main thing is, like, I know she made this album in like 10 days, and I feel like I can really hear that in the production. But in terms of the storyline, it's phenomenal, and I think she did such a good job with that, and I love a narrative album. Next we have Daniel Caesar, Son of Spurgey. I gave this a 48. I thought it was nice. I felt like it was a bit of a snooze on occasion, but yeah, it was pretty. I liked the gospel elements, and I liked the song Root of All Evil the most. Next we have Iconoclasts, Anna von Horswolf. I gave this 36. I don't know, a lot of people really fuck with this. I didn't like it. The strings and the arrangements are pretty, but it's just like a lot of it just felt kind of pretentious and annoying to me. It's similar to the Last Dinner Party, witchy vibes. It doesn't hit for me. Next we have Everybody Scream by Florence and the Machine. I gave this a 53. I feel like this album showed off what Florence does really well. This, to me, this is like, if we want to do witchy vibes, like this is what I prefer. We're on to November, so we're almost at the end. Half-Blood by Slayer. I gave this a 40. I was not fucking with it until I heard Phone Interlude and then like the transition into Power 4. I thought that was sick. There were also some other good moments on this, but there were also some moments where I was like, I hate this. So overall, I felt like 40 was a fair rating. Next, we have my album of the year. My album of the year was The Mocking Stars by Last the Cat, and I gave this album an 100, if you can believe it. Yes! I could talk about this album all fucking day. I genuinely don't have words for how this album makes me feel. Like, I've been waiting. Okay. I watched his EP blow up, and then he released a couple singles after the EP, and like I was like, I'm excited, there's gonna be an album, I'm excited. And then I waited, and then 7 years later, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it because I don't have words for how amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move on because I don't have words. This was, next we have Sam Gelatry, Anywhere Here Is Perfect. I gave it a 61. I was a little bit disappointed because I really like Sam Gelatry. I'm actually going to see him in March. I really like Curious. I think the reason why, okay, here's the thing, like I've been a big fan of Tori Moi and Sam Gelatry for like years at this point, and so when they did a collaboration, I was like, you know, like with that feeling of like two artists that you really love and they do a collaboration together, and you're like, and it's like the perfect blend of like both of their sounds and like everything you love about both of their music. Yeah, but then the rest of the songs I didn't like as much, so I only gave it a 61. I was hoping that there would be more songs like Curious on the record, but there wasn't, so. Next we have You're an Angel and I'm Just Particles by Benny. I gave this a 29, which is like really low, but I just, again, it's like the similar thing to the Chloe Moriondo and other albums. It's just like, why are you, like, you're a cool bitch, and like, where's the cool? Next we've got Cosplay by Sorry. I gave this a 59. Yeah, I gave it a 59. I did like it. Whatever. Chasing the Chimera by Del Water Gap. I gave this a 40. It had some decent moments, but this to me was the epitome of that like one TikTok that Chapel Roan did of like indie pop boys. What the fuck are they even writing about? Like a cigarette. Fucking a cigarette. Like, be so serious. Also, she said something to that effect, and that's how I feel about this album. Lux by Rosalia. I gave this a 92. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this. This is the thing, is like, I was so prepared for like Quickly album to be my album of the year, and then in November, literally like the last month, two of my favourite albums that I've ever heard in the world come out. The Mocking Stars and Lux. I absolutely adored this album. It changed my whole concept of like what music can sound like. It's like, even though she's singing in all those languages, I can still feel what it is that she's trying to express in each of the songs. It's just like, oh my god. I just didn't even realise music could sound like that. Stardust by Danny Brown. I gave this a 46. This album was stacked in terms of like features and stuff. I don't think I'm a big fan of his rap style. Sorry. It's just like, yeah, like I think my favourite song was the Isbroki feature and the Fentanyl feature. With some of the features, I just felt like I couldn't hear the other person in the song. Next we have Glassjaw by Aries. I actually gave this a 72, which is kind of high. I have a soft spot for Aries. Both of his previous two albums, Welcome Home and Believe in Me Who Believes in You, came out like, they're very like defining albums for that chapter of my life. Hello, I'm filming the remainder of this video on my on my laptop because my camera just died and I only have like 3 albums left and I can't be bothered to wait for it to charge. So you're just gonna have to deal with that. I feel like even if you don't really like emo pop, like he just does do it well. I feel like he's just like a good producer. On One Tricks Point Never. Yeah. That's definitely not how you say it. Tranquilizer. I gave it 61. I really liked it. I don't tend to listen to album music a lot. At points I felt like it was a little bit of a downer. But the majority of it I was like, yeah, this is cool. It's tranquil, in fact. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't believe you sat and listened to me yap for over an hour. Like, I'm shocked that you care that much about my opinions on albums. Anyway, mama needs her food and mama needs her bed. So I'm gonna leave it there. But thank you so much for watching. Oh my god. Thank you for watching. Bye. I love you. Bye.